get so numb from the fear of missing out. And you think those likes mean love. It'll never be enough. No petty hearts don't bleed. All they do is beat to the march of desperate feet. Oh, imagine if we stay true to the real side of you. 'C's all I wanna do, I just wanna be authentic. I just wanna be authentic. I just wanna be authentic. You do you, I'ma do me. Authentic. The mirrors and the smoke will only make you choke. I will just stay woke in a world so delusional. No petty hearts don't bleed. All they do is beat to the march of desperate feet. Oh, imagine if we stay true to the real side of you. 'Cause all I wanna do, I just wanna be authentic. I just wanna be authentic. I just wanna be authentic. You do you, I'ma do me. Authentic.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Café is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Café and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Café. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Midday Show.
The Midday Show.
I got all sorts of goodies over here.
What you got? You still got 2 Christmas presents you haven't opened up.
I haven't built them, but now
know.
I have the room because you had this place.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
This
you had
place
too much
was
stuff.
decked out for Christmas, but now you're ready to unpack some things?
And they moved my table all the way over there,
We got
so
you
I
out
can't
of the
reach
womb.
my hot dog.
We got you out of the womb.
Yes, we had to put up my train set and my Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Right there is all I can tell you.
Right there?
Yeah.
But then Ken comes and he takes it all down.
I know, that too. Happy Tuesday.
Welcome
Looking at
to
this day in history. 2004 NASA Mars rover Spirit successfully lands on Mars.
I remember that.
Do you? The first rover on Mars. Haven't heard much about Mars these days.
No, he's doing fine though.
The Mars bar.
The Mars bar.
Anyway, what's going on? We had a nice morning show. Got Slick in the house doing some things. We got Justin Mooney joining us today of HHK.
Today's National Trivia Day.
Is it? What's your national trivia?
Do you know what goes up white and comes down yellow?
Slick.
I do. What? Say it again one more time. What comes up white, yellow?
What goes up white and comes down yellow?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was too overzealous because I was making some. Sorry. I don't know.
He does not know.
Do you know?
What goes up white and comes down yellow? I'm afraid to ask you. Know what?
The egg.
What goes up white and comes down yellow is the egg? Do you
Yeah.
have an egg in your pocket?
Yeah.
Oh, you got another little toy in your pocket. I did not know. Slick, that's kind of cool. I like seeing you there in our little picture-in-picture. I did not know that.
That makes me very nervous when Slick does that.
But we had a great morning show. We got lots of things happening. Do you know they actually got a chance to look in King,
Tut's tomb.
not King Tut's, Adam Hotep.
Who?
Adam Hotep. I gotta check the right pronunciation of it. But it's really pretty cool. They never wanted to unwrap this mummy because it was so perfectly wrapped. But instead, they were able to use special technology, like a CAT scan, to look inside all the mummifications.
What'd they find? A squirrel?
No, they found everything about him. They found what he looked like. Pharaoh Amenhotep. Pharaoh Amenhotep.
Oh, I know him.
3,000-year-old artifact. It's really fascinating, actually, because a whole mask was done of what he looked like.
Wow, mummification, and these guys knew what they were doing.
That's the amazing thing to me, and I wanted to talk to you about that because you think about science and technology, you're talking about 3,000 years ago.
And he looks like yesterday.
And this was the technology that
He still
they
has
knew.
skin on his body. How can that be?
That's the mask that was on top of it.
Yeah, but that's the face.
That's the face.
That's the face. He still has skin.
How they knew how to mummify and preserve everything. I mean, everything was there. You could see all the amulets and the hair samples and the jaw structure perfectly mummified.
I want to be mummified.
It's kind of like our version of cryotherapy, I think.
I want to be mummified. Where's Wayne Henry?
He'll be back hopefully this week.
Tell Wayne I want to be mummified. I want to look like that guy after 3,000 years.
I mean, they'd use this computerized scan to look inside and see everything that was there. I just find that fascinating. When you think about what human being makes me think about the aliens.
You're ignoring me.
You want to be mummified. We'll talk to Wayne about it on Friday.
I want the whole mummification process, the whole thing.
I mean, even through looters and people that came in and dug it up and tried to desecrate, they reburied them and they reburied them, and it has not been opened up.
Desecrate.
Desecrate.
You know, I'm trying to listen on my earbud.
You know, I find that just fascinating, the amount of science. So it makes me think back to the theory that people tell me the aliens built the pyramids, because how could human beings have built it so perfectly? So maybe there was
Don't
some
you think that
intuition.
those people are the aliens? Who the hell puts a body together for 3,000 years, looks like it's like a day old?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Between building the pyramids the way they did in alignment with the stars and perfectly, human bodies to pull those boulders up into place like that, how
I
they
know.
could do that,
I know.
and then to be able to mummify, you definitely, there's got to be a higher presence that was part of this whole situation. Don't you think so?
Don't you think that they live among us?
I wouldn't call them aliens. I would call them other beings. Yes, 100%.
Because Slick is not normal.
Yes, he is. Well, working with us, you have to be a little bit unique.
There is something wrong with that guy. I don't want
Why?
to say nothing.
I think he's great.
Wow.
His mic's on, but yes. Oh, because we hear him twofold. We hear him in there and here. I think Slick, you know, without Slick doing what he does, we would not be where we are.
But that guy comes, I think he was hatched.
We got to ask his brothers where he came from.
Gotta ask his mother.
But that I find interesting. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. That is what, and today we're going to talk about business growth and what has changed in businesses and what you need to look for your goals. You know, you and I need to talk about this because everyone says, Dawn and Freddie. Freddie and Dawn.
What
Have you
about
written down your business goals for the year?
resolution? I don't do resolution.
Business goals.
I don't do that either.
I know you don't. I also want
Why
to tell
am
you.
I going to do business goals when you are a nervous Nelly about everything?
Because that's what we have to do. Do you remember our friends from the Uffizi Gallery?
I remember they owe me a trip to Italy.
They
Somebody get
found
them on the phone.
Another
Ufiti?
hidden gem in Uffizi.
I don't want to hear it.
Another Last Supper.
Did you see the first supper?
That's the first breakfast. They found another Last Supper. I want to reach out to them because how cool is that?
Are we going to keep that there, by the way?
We probably have to get a frame so we can hang it.
I want to put it in the lobby.
All right, well, we'll order a frame for it.
But I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
Ufiti owes
Uffizi?
us a trip to
To Italy.
Italy.
Except now everything's closing again, but it is fascinating what they're finding. They're finding more sculptures and more pieces. It's like when you clean out your house and you find gems. They started cleaning out the archives and underground of Uffizi, and they found incredible more pieces of art.
But you know they deal in looking for those pieces.
The artifacts.
That's all they do.
Sure.
And they find it. But what does that have to do with my trip to Italy?
Well, you were going to go because you wanted to look at all the artwork of Uffizi.
We were supposed to do a show. What happened?
Things changed. But we need to check back in with them because they're finding such incredible opportunities.
So I'm bringing them here again, but they're not taking me there? I don't know. This doesn't seem very koshy.
We're going to see what we can work out for you.
Thank you.
What else you got going for today?
Well, we have a meeting scheduled for Thursday. You know, we have this big thing going on in the UK,
Mario Lanza show.
the Mario Alonso, and we're going to stream it over here and in the movie theaters here. So they want to sit with us on Thursday to talk about that. Now,
think
do
it's
you
a good
think it's
idea.
going to happen with all of the coronaviruses?
Yes.
Slick does. You know, I really didn't think things were going to shut down again. Well, let me rephrase that. I kind of thought things were going to shut down again, but trying to be optimistic and everyone else telling me nothing was going to shut down again. And now Kravis Center is shutting down. You just told me JC's concert was canceled. I know. Down
The
in
Kravis Center
Miami,
is shutting down?
Adrian Arts Center. Yep. The Donna Summer show was canceled, postponed, I should say.
Postponed is what they're using, that word.
Adrian Arts Center, where they just had hairspray. That was the one show, and they are now shut down. We're interviewing tomorrow the South Florida Symphony down in Miami. We're going to be doing it virtually and see what's going on instead of them coming up here. We're going to be talking to them because they're looking to gain exposure outside of Miami because it is South Florida Symphony, and they are located in Miami, but it is for all of South Florida.
I didn't realize things were shutting down.
I didn't either until little by little I'm seeing more and more things
It's happening?
shut down. Schools are open. I think people are just trying to be extra cautious, and hopefully this one will run through quickly and everyone's going to be as safe as possible until the next one. I don't know.
It makes me wonder. Now, did you see that we had 1 million cases yesterday?
No, I really try not to do that.
I'm going to take this off because I hear that it's
I try
working.
not to do that. Slick's going to try not to black out our camera again. And we'll be good.
He fainted.
But here we're talking about here, off the charts.
Yes.
Business growth. I think 2021 was a harder business year than 2020 because 2020, I think people figured out how to rebound once things reopened and they pivoted. 2021, I can't tell you the pivot was successful for everybody.
I'm going to tell you.
You hate that word.
In 2020, everything was new. Everybody was using the technology that we've been using for years. They're using the technology. So that was the new pony. 2021, they had to come up with a new trick. There ain't no new trick. They don't got a new trick. So 2021 stays stale.
Yeah.
Now 2022, you got to have another new trick. 3 tricks in the world. The hat trick.
Good, Slick. 3, you got another hat trick up there, Slick?
I don't have a hat. I wish I had a hat.
That's a much better camera angle than the one I got of you, so that's so much better.
Now I hear that Slick is going to be doing something he's never done in the history of trickness.
What are you
of
doing,
slickness.
Slick?
What am I doing?
La sortija.
Tia, I'm not Spanish. Oh, ring. Yes, I'm gonna be. So, ladies, I'm gonna try one more year to find my one. If it doesn't happen this year, I'll just be closed off for the rest of my life.
Who came up with that idea?
I don't know.
He did.
I think it just came to me. It just came to me last year, like fourth quarter last year. You know, because I honestly, I miss signs where I miss my shot. I don't know if any guys feel me. I miss it because like I get too busy or I get overworked or I overthink and stuff don't happen.
I want to know how you're going to choose which lucky girl, though, Slick, is going to have that opportunity.
I don't know. That's the thing. I think I'm just gonna leave it in the hands of God, or or the person higher above, because it's kind of like I can't really say who that person is, and I can't really say I have a certain specification. As long as I say you catch my interest.
And you're in on it.
I wasn't in on it. I just found the rings for him.
Well, that means you're in on it. You're an accomplice to the situation.
Freddie's helping me too.
The object of the game is says her slickness is going to give 10 lucky girls a friendship ring. That's all it is.
But how do you choose the girl?
Well, that's his problem.
The enchantress. And then they're going to want to know why, what does this mean, what's next?
If you have to ask so many questions,
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to overthink if I would give it to you, so I probably would take it. I would just probably state what I need to say, and so I'm giving this to you because, like,
I think it's a great idea. I think you're funny as heck that you're putting this together. I cannot wait to get this story.
it'd be
and the
nice if he
debriefing of
talks
it.
into a microphone. You're not talking into a mic.
I'm talking into.
I think he's in mic 3.
I don't see no mic in front of him.
I'm on VMix. You're looking.
Talking to a mic.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
So now I'm talking into a mic, but basically, I'll be trying this out. I'm gonna make sure you guys stay tuned to Slick because I know Slick's been on hiatus, but I just want to trust new things. Not saying that I'm looking for the one. Like if it does happen, it happens. If not, that's it.
He is his own uniqueness, is all I can tell you. He's funny, don't you think?
It's funny. He's talking to that microphone. There's an echo.
No, because I'm on
VMix.
Use a handheld.
He's on VMix, though.
I'm on VMix. That's why you're here.
Oh, you're on VMix.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, I'm on.
So he's on VMix. That's why it's coming from us.
Yeah.
So yes, mute the VMix and use the handheld.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's try that.
I'm getting more and more texts from people, so it's a little upsetting is all I can tell you what's going on. There are a lot of people getting sick.
More people?
More people. All right, we're going to try that, Slick, and see how that one rolls out.
I mean, I don't know how you guys are gonna hear me, but I'll try to scream.
All right. I think we've got Justin here, and I think that fan's blowing on you. So let me turn off the fan. Let's take a commercial break. Let's set Justin Mooney up, and stay tuned. I'm going to turn the fan off. We'll be right back.
Jay Harmon exclusively in the
How you
gallery
doing?
of Boca. Jay Harmon captures the essence of really creative and captivating mind. Jay Harmon brings light into the darkness on majority of his pieces, using a negative background to highlight the details of some of his looks. I know some artists use white canvases, but he thrives on a black canvas. And here's the kicker. He only uses pencil, colored pencil, graphite pencil, and pencil for his art pieces. Yes, I know it's hard to fathom that these beautiful pieces came from pencil, but yes, they did. And the only way you can experience Jay Harmon is if you come to the gallery of Boca. Jay Harmon, an unconventional artist with a unique story behind every canvas. With enough butter, anything is good. Tori Wells from Precious Treasure Gourmet Foods thinks so, because she single-handedly updated and expanded butter's possibilities. From compound, savory, sweet, and spicy, her freshly made butters aim to please. I don't know about you, but I've never really seen butter this versatile before, and now so feasible. With online shopping, just visit PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com, because at Precious Treasures, Tori is working on the best artisan gourmet foods to every table. Remember, guys, true love is like butter. There's no substitute for the real thing.
Justin Mooney is special counsel of the Florida office of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm not pregnant. I would sleep 12 hours a day.
Can you still sleep?
Sometimes. I slept this morning. Sometimes.
What time did you go to sleep, though?
11.
Oh, you slept late. You sleep through the night?
Pretty much.
That's good.
I think I had to get up once. I don't remember.
That's good. That's good, because once you have a baby, as a mom, you never sleep through the night again.
Neither does the dad.
You don't think? I think dads can sleep through anything.
I had to get up. I had the 2 and... Let me see. I used to get home from work. The 2 o'clock and the 4 o'clock feeding, or the 1 o'clock and the 5. I had those shifts. So I used to, because I didn't sleep, so I used to feed Gio and Freddie and tell Michelle to sleep. Because she had to deal with them in the morning.
Did she sleep?
Like a rock.
See, I would have always been like, you do it, and then you're up anyway, because then there's a million questions that come in. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? I'm like, I'll just get up.
And the funny thing is that when the baby comes, you got to learn how to clean them bottles.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to do certain things that I didn't know were we had to do.
It's the boy situation.
Like changing a pamper.
And you know you're having a boy.
Yeah.
I remember.
We're hoping that it would be easier. I don't know. I mean, I was a boy baby at one point. So
At
I
one
figure,
point.
You know, some of that will carry over knowledge innately.
Yeah, but you didn't do any of the taking care of. You were being taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you got to do it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about boys.
They squirt.
They will squirt on you,
Yeah.
and they will keep doing it until they get it. Once they get it, then you watch them laugh, and then they're going to try to do it all the time. Freddie got me the first time out.
Yeah, we got a bunch of baby clothes, and they had these little like caps on there. I was like, what is this, a hat for like a little doll? But no, it's a PPTP. It's so you don't get peed on when you're changing them.
A PPTP.
They didn't have that.
What? How big is it?
It's like I don't know, twice the size of a thimble maybe.
And
it's like a little cotton.
Oh my
thing.
God, that is so cute.
Yeah.
That is so funny. See, evolution. Like, what is the best baby product out there that you've gotten so far?
Oh wow.
That?
Pretty cool.
I don't know. There's so many. We got this. I think it's called like the Silver Cross stroller, and apparently like the royals have all used them, and it's like very smooth, and I don't know. It's probably the most expensive baby thing we bought so far.
It's like the one hand you can flip it and pot it back down until the grandparents go to close it, and they look at you. We cannot close the stroller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be where we're at as far as the grandparent
To
situation.
today, I still don't understand strollers.
You don't know how to close the stroller.
No, it was ridiculous. Yeah, it says you have to have a PhD to get this thing to work.
Or car seats, any of it.
And what about the pamper genie thing?
The diaper genie.
Oh my God.
They
You
still
got to
make
get
those?
that.
We're hoping to do not a whole lot of diapering, because it's like a very Western thing to just put your kids in diapers all the time. There's a lot of like Eastern countries that do it, and they'll have their kids potty trained by like 6 months old.
Really?
So we're hoping
Good luck
to
with
just,
that,
That's not how
buddy.
that works out for you.
Well, we have all tile floors.
Oh, yeah,
so
good luck with that.
we'll
So
be
no
fine.
diapers? You're going like diaperless?
I think when we travel at all, like anytime in the car or like during sleeping, stuff like that. But like we're hoping to do a lot of baby wearing, so just like strapping them to ourselves. And kids generally won't use the bathroom while they're being.
Who told you that?
Stuff I've read online.
Okay, let me tell you something. I tried that. I had to buy a whole new wardrobe because my sons decided to use me as a toilet. One of them loved it so much he kept it on forever. Gio was forget about it.
Really?
Oh my God. I love books. They're just not the real thing. Kids
Yeah.
go when they gotta go, and then they're gonna go. And then the funny thing is when you're changing them, and they go again, right there.
Yeah.
You gotta change them again.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
interested
I think
to see how
I think
this
the whole
goes.
playbook just goes out. Like you have these lofty ideals of what kind of parent you want to be, but then real stuff starts happening. You forget things. You're too tired. You're just like, oh, I'll just
It's a
do
whole
this
lot of fun.
instead. Yeah, it's like what Mike Tyson said. Everyone's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
That's right.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that theory, so I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
The Pamper Genie is the best.
Yeah.
But when you throw it away, you gotta hold your nose. But the Pamper Genie holds that whole tube of Pampers, and then you throw it out. Trust you me, you're gonna need that.
Except now you're thinking they need biodegradable diapers and biodegradable bags
listen.
and cloth
Yeah, we're gonna do
diapers.
cloth
When you
diapers.
haven't
They're going
slept,
cloth diapers.
when you haven't slept, yeah, cloth diapers. When you haven't slept, first of all, cloth diapers you gotta be careful because they get diaper rash.
Yeah.
And
Well, if they're not wearing a diaper, they're not going to get rashed.
if they ain't wearing a diaper, you better have a cleaning genie. They're gonna do the mess one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it comes fast and furious. You see Brecken?
Is he still in diapers?
Oh my God! And the way this kid eats, he's twice the weight of his older brother.
Wow.
Okay, at least Rowan goes to the bathroom, but Brecken, he goes, poop.
Oh, then I'd be like, you're in the bathroom. If he can identify when he's doing it,
He ain't got no patience for
you
that.
got to go to the bathroom.
He has
right?
no patience.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's called like elimination communication. When they're going to eliminate, they'll give off these certain cues, and that's when you like position them over. It's called like the magician's hat. It's like this little top hat you just sit them on,
Oh.
and that's what they do.
I tell you, it's all psychological. Do you know how I taught my youngest to finally go to the bathroom?
Was
My-
there a reward system like with
No,
dogs? you
no,
give
that's the
treats?
worst thing. Don't do that. My accountant said to take some water on the stove, pour it in. When he sits, he will go. I thought she was crazy. So I
Only
did that.
into
He
the
did it
toilet?
and whoop, into the toilet.
Pour the hot water in the toilet?
Yeah, don't do it with him sitting on it. You pour the water in and then you sit him. I don't know what the magic is,
Huh.
but he went
I've never heard that.
and he looked at me. He said, I'm in the toilet. Because he thought that was part of his body that was going down the toilet. So he sees it. He says, he wanted to grab it. I want to put it back inside. I said, no, it's okay. But this is Gio. I could not believe that this thing worked.
Wow.
True story.
Potty training.
And I'm going to tell you something. After 18 hours of no sleep, and they colic, and they cry, and separation anxiety, and then there's something about the heartbeat of a mother, so you may want to lay your baby on your chest. Because they got to get used to a different heartbeat. I got to tell you, man, they put me through the change.
I can't wait to see the non-diaper situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
need pictures.
We'll see how it goes.
I guess your wife's going to stay home?
So for the first 3 months, she's taking FMLA leave, and I'm gonna do a couple days remotely, working at home, just taking care of the baby while she goes back to work.
And then?
And then, hopefully by 6 months old, he'll take care of himself.
And he'll be
feed
potty
himself,
trained, and
change
he'll get the
himself.
keys to the car like Brecken, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, we gotta
right.
change the door handles so they're not the
Right,
turns.
right.
Just
I'm
the
gonna get
handle
you-
they press down on.
Yeah, I understand.
Go wherever they want.
6 months, huh? I'm gonna get you for him to shave, maybe a black book for his dates. Yeah, 6
Yeah.
months.
It's very exciting, though.
Oh yeah.
What was for lunch today, by the way?
Tuna fish and soup.
We should actually thank Second Street Bagels and Deli for providing lunch today. Today was a chicken soup, tuna fish, egg sandwich kind of day. So thank you to Second Street Bagels and Deli
Who
for
had the
feeding
egg?
us today. So look, he had an egg sandwich. Who had everything else? I'm kidding. It was a combination. I got it there. They were busy, like everybody else. No one's even talking. Everyone is so short-staffed.
What did you eat?
I had some soup and I brought lunch.
What was in that lunch in that tin foil?
A piece of quiche. It's kind of like eggs. So, eggs and spinach. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about with Justin Mooney. We talked about the end of the year, closing out the year, getting your documents in place, and now everyone's into getting their business goals going forward. What are your business goals for 2022? What are your personal goals for 2022? And if it's not a goal and it's not a resolution, maybe it's your paperwork, maybe it's just saying, you know what I learned in 2021 that I didn't do, or I did do and I want to change, I need to do better in 2022.
It's true. I got a friend of mine watching. It's funny that he's here today. Her father has Alzheimer's, and I think he's in his 80s, so close to it. And it's in another country. So I'm not going to name the country because I don't want to point her out. But he's in another country, and he can't even remember his name, and things are going downhill very quickly. And I asked her, do you have his papers in order? And she said none of it has been done at all. And it's her brother, and somebody else. And there is no mom. Mom passed away. And it's a bad situation because she knows that I lost mom and dad. I didn't have their papers done either. And I said, listen, you're going to have to suck it up, and you're going to have to man up and do what you got to do, because without those papers in order, he passes on, and what you got left is a mess.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on right now. So she's watching today because you told me you was coming.
Well, and some people, even when they have memory issues or cognitive disabilities, they're able to execute estate planning documents in certain scenarios. It's so long as in the moment they have lucidity, they know who they are, who their children are, what their assets are, and that the document they're signing is disposing of the assets in that kind of manner. Not a lot of people want to do it because it's hard to really get a gauge for, if the person has capacity at the time to sign. But it's not too late in all circumstances. But if your big concern is mainly a lot of people when their parents lose their cognitive abilities is taking care of their health and their finances. And if they have nothing in place, then they can seek a guardianship where they get appointed by the court to make those decisions. And I've worked on a few of those, and it's rough a lot of the times because it's a very stressful situation. And sometimes it's very hard for the elderly person to kind of realize they're losing their, abilities and their freedom, stuff like that. Someone else is making their decisions. They're kind of, regressing back to infancy in a way that they have a full-time carer or part-time carer.
If they come in and out, like there are days that he's okay and there are days that, he's not there anymore, can that signature on days that he's okay, is that still valid?
Yeah. So the question is just did he or she have capacity at the time that it was signed? And you would want to be a little bit more thorough with documenting that circumstance and everything surrounding it. Like a lot of the times when people sign their will, the attorney will ask them, do you understand that this is your last will and testament? Do you have capacity at this time to sign? That kind of thing. So,
And if they sign that, it's okay.
Yeah.
But this guy has property. He has a vineyard. He has wines. He has homes.
Wow.
This guy is somebody. And I said to her, this is craziness that you're going about this. They're so concerned about his health that they're sidestepping. And this is what happens with funerals and things of that nature.
Yep.
You were so concerned being the caregiver, and she's aged, just trying to take care of that she forgets the other side of the coin. So I said, let me talk to your brother because maybe he will do what I'm asking him to do, because they got to get that done ASAP. Get your papers in order. They don't even have the Wayne situation done for him, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
People don't put it in place. They're waiting and waiting until it happens, because they can't deal with it before it happens. And then it happens, and you got to deal with it. And like you said, people, are they in their mental capacity to sign the paperwork? Who's actually sitting down and saying, this is what I want to be done?
Right.
Often it's the spouse, it's the kids, and they're like, Mom or Dad, just sign this. This is.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets a little bit hairy, because they may not be in full capacity. They may be
Right.
lucid enough to sign and say, okay, I trust you, but not lucid enough really to put your own documents in place. And that's where it gets a little muddied. Everyone should put their own documents in place.
Yeah, I actually had one of the children of someone who was in a long-term care facility call me and tell me, yeah, this is what Dad wants. And the problem is Dad is deaf. And so it's very hard to gauge someone's capacity when I'm not a American Sign Language signer, so I don't know how to, communicate with them directly. It would be through a third-party interpreter, and I think it gets a little complicated there. So it was something that I wasn't just going to write a will for someone I wasn't going to meet or speak to, but sometimes people will try that, and it's not necessarily they don't have their parents' best interests at heart, but sometimes there's that conflict. They want a little bit more, or they want to be in control as the personal representative of the estate, something like that. So I think it's always you should be the one reaching out to the attorney, not having your child reach out, like with Wayne, setting up all your funeral arrangements without you knowing.
I gotta tell you, Wayne did me a solid, because my oldest son, because he's the oldest son, decided that he was going to have me cremated.
Yeah.
This is what started this whole thing. And I said, I never said I wanted to be cremated. My parents aren't cremated. It's just not what we do. And my son has a philosophy. He loves to argue with me. And then my other son, who loves to argue with me, is more compassionate. So it becomes very tricky.
Yeah.
Because if I leave it to Freddie, I'm probably not going to get what I want. If I leave it to Gio, he's probably going to be upset, Freddie is, that he's not the one doing what I really don't want him to do. Mm-hmm. So it gets a little bit tricky on this thing.
You just do it yourself.
No, I'm saying after I'm gone. There's nothing to do.
You got to do it. I kind of
He's
feel
ready
like
to put me in a hole.
if you can do it yourself, you should do it yourself.
No, I'm saying the things I want done, like a will and testament and all that. So I got to be careful, because you hurt a lot of feelings with your kids, because you're close to both of your kids,
Right.
except that one has more touch than the other. And I try to explain this to my son. And he says, I don't want to hear it. Because he doesn't. Freddie doesn't want to hear it. But there is more, like your daughter and your son. You see, you got a girl, so I would think she's going to be more sympathetic to your feelings.
My daughter just wants the movie theater that I don't own, so that's problematic, apparently.
Well, but
she decided they want a movie theater. They don't want this. I'm like,
but
okay.
she's more sympathetic to you. I'll give you an example. My mother had a lot of clothes. So when she moved on, I was stuck with a house of clothes. I'm talking about 86 years worth of clothing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a box. It was
The house?
a trailer. So I called a couple of churches, and this is the time that there was the hurricane and there were people needing clothes all over the place.
Right.
And I started sending clothes out. So my sister wasn't there, and she's angry at me. She says, well, maybe I wanted to look through Mom's clothes. Well, then get over here. What do you want me to tell you? So those clothes went on.
Yeah.
It comes back to haunt me now. Do you remember this dress? Or do you remember this? Do you remember that? Wow, really? I don't remember nothing. So now I'm the bad guy. I'm just telling you how the chain of events goes on is incredible.
But I think the paperwork is really important. And I see in businesses, as people are getting sick and not being able to work, and you finally see the writing on the wall and say, if I'm in business alone and I can't work for whatever reason, or I'm impaired, or heaven forbid something happened, what am I going to do with my business?
Yeah.
Or if you have a partner, do you want to do this business without your partner? Is this something you want to do alone? Do you put an agreement together?
Yeah.
There's a lot of feelings that I think have stirred up. You're working with businesses also.
Yeah, that's a big insurance concern, is a lot of people starting up their own business. Well, also people that are employed, like if you short-term disability, if you can't work for a while, that's a good thing to have in place, especially with it seems like COVID ramping up. or if you have a partnership or any business that you're in with multiple key people, you'd want to have agreements in place that if one person wants to get out or if they die, their estate would be forced to sell, and you would have insurance in place. It's called a buy-sell agreement. It ensures that the key people, if any one of them dies, the other person can keep it going solely by themselves and not have the estate or the dead person's heirs chiming in on how they want to run the business.
Which I think is really important, and people are realizing now. Business, I think, has been harder in 2021 than it was in 2020. People held on 2020, if you could.
Yeah.
They were able to get through those 6 months, and with some money and some funding, most people got. By 2021, you've gone through that money.
Yeah.
You don't know if you can still hold on. And then you start seeing the other side of it is, what do? I need to really put some documentation in place, because I can't do this alone, or I can do this alone, or I don't want to work with your heirs, or I do want to work with your heirs, but I want this. I mean, all of these things that you might want or you don't want really need to be put into place, because no one's going to know that unless if you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, they think worst case scenario, just the financial aspect of their business, but they don't think worst case scenario, death and disability of themselves or their partners and what needs to happen if that happens. It's a lot of the times insurance is a great thing to have in place for either your own disability or your partner's death or disability, how to make sure that the business keeps trucking along. And yeah, it's something that I've seen a lot more recently, mainly because I think since the pandemic, a lot of people have quit their jobs and just said, I'm just going to do my own thing. And I've started so many new businesses in the last year, and the businesses are still in place, thankfully.
They are, good.
So they've been doing well for themselves. A lot of different businesses setting up, and I think that it's going to continue that way. There's a lot of tax incentives for setting up your own business. Like if you get a deduction of 20% essentially on whatever income you make from it. It was introduced in the end of 2017 with this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So a lot of people, essentially they changed the tax code to help force more people to start their own business.
What do you mean you get a 20% deduction if you start your own business?
So if you were making $100,000 as a W-2 employee, you would just pay your taxes as normal. But if you started your own business and you made $100,000 in profit, then you would only be paying taxes on 80% of that, pursuant to this new tax code section 199A.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's on the net or the gain or the gross?
That's on the net profit.
On the net. And if the business started in 2018, do you still qualify?
Yeah. This has been.
Anything
This is
after
going forward?
17.
Yeah. It's since.
And what if the
2017.
business is around 7 years, do you qualify?
What's that?
If there was around before 2017, or is it just for new business?
Yeah, it's for any business
Any
at all.
business.
So basically, I had someone point out to me early in my career that the first purpose of the tax code was to generate revenue, and the second purpose of it was to manipulate everyone. So they start, if you ever see new changes in the tax code, it's because they want to change how society operates. So by introducing that section, they want more people to work for themselves and start new businesses and be entrepreneurs.
That's
They
fascinating.
also know you have to now register with your city. You got to register with your county, right? And
Yeah. So if you start a new business, you have to register and get your tax receipt with whatever city you're operating in. There's some exemptions. A lot of them are for veterans. So I found out that I don't have to get my tax receipt for Palm Beach County or for any of the cities because I'm a veteran. So
I
that's
bet
nice.
people don't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet you people. And what happens if you're a vet and you've been paying? Do they reimburse you or not?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that, and I haven't had any of my other veteran friends with that issue. There's another thing that we're applying for homestead, the tax exemption on our house, and because I'm a veteran who gets disability, you get a $5,000 taken off the value of the house also.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're a vet.
Yeah.
Did you get the Purple Heart?
No.
That's a good one to have.
I bet people don't even realize that.
A lot of people, everything he's saying, I never heard of this.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to know that.
Yeah, there's a lot out there for veterans. There's just sometimes it's very hard to get information out to people.
Do you have the information to disseminate?
Yeah, I mean, me being a veteran, I've gone through the process of applying for disability, working with the VA, and seeing what all incentives are out there as a homeowner, as a business owner, those kind of things.
You should put a show together on those benefits.
Yeah.
We really should, because it's really important, because people don't realize that you get so muddy down in paperwork. And listen, I'm the first one to know I get muddy down in paperwork. You just look at me, well, what are you doing? More paperwork and more paperwork. But if you're doing it right, it would take a whole lot of anxiety away knowing that you've got options and benefits as a veteran.
Yeah.
Do you have to apply for that special, like any of these programs? You have to let them know?
Yeah, so for the homestead, to get the additional $5,000 deduction, you have to be a disabled veteran. There's some other qualifications on there that the state puts out there that you get additional discounts. I think a lot of them are age-based. And then for all the county, like local county taxes, you just have to be a veteran, or I'm trying to remember if it's the spouse of a veteran or the spouse of a deceased veteran. But so I think it's if you're the spouse of a veteran. So if my wife wanted to set up her own separate business, she wouldn't have to pay the local tax. But that doesn't include you still have to collect sales tax and remit that to the state when collecting it.
That's really interesting. You've had a lot of information on vets. We
Yeah.
should definitely put that information forward, because people don't know. They have no idea the business. And that's what makes working with you so different, which we haven't even talked about today, is you have your LLM as well as your law degree.
Yes.
So you know the tax codes.
Yeah.
You know when you're sitting down with a client, these tax laws are pertinent, these not so much. We need to put these papers in place. It's all there, so everyone can get out of their head and not panic like I do. Am I doing the right paperwork? Am I doing
Yeah.
this right? You have all the information.
Yeah, a lot of the time people are just overwhelmed. They think there's a lot to worry about, and I sit down with them, we do a consultation, and I say a lot of these things are not going to apply to you. Like, everyone thinks estate tax, like, oh, am I going to have to... Well, the biggest thing is people wonder, I received this amount of inheritance, so I have to pay tax on it. It's like, no, you never have to worry about that when you're receiving an inheritance like that.
Up to that same amount, up to that 11.5?
No. So it's very complicated how it works. So if I die with, anything over 11 million, that gets taxed at 40%. But if I have 200 million after my estate tax is paid, and that goes out to all of my beneficiaries, it's called an inheritance tax. Some countries and some states have an inheritance tax where the recipient pays the tax on the property received, rather than a state tax where the estate is responsible based on the value that's in the estate at the time of death.
But the recipient has to pay tax.
Only if there's an inheritance tax in that state. I think there's a couple states in the U.S. that have an inheritance tax.
Well, I thought inheritance tax was the whole country.
No. There's no federal inheritance tax.
Does Florida have an inheritance tax?
Florida does not have an inheritance tax, and our estate tax is 0 on the books.
So if someone leaves you X amount of money,
Someone leaves you $1 billion after their estate is done paying the tax on it, and you get it. If it's $1 billion after the estate tax is paid, then it's $1 billion to you, no tax.
and if it's
on
less than the 11 million, there's no estate tax.
Yes.
So if you're receiving less than $1 million, the money just goes right to your inheritance.
Yeah.
And there's no taxes on it.
Right.
And if it's
Wow.
11,100,000, because of that $100, you're going to pay 40% tax.
Your estate will. You, as the recipient of it, won't be paying it.
Gotcha. Look at Lucky. Come.
It's kind of the perfect conversation to have Lucky in, because we were talking yesterday about that. That's really interesting. But if somebody were to gift you right now $200,000,
Yeah, it's
would
not.
you pay tax on it?
No, it's a gift.
Is there a gift limit?
Yeah, so you can gift $15,000 to anyone as an individual, and you're not going to have any tax consequences. The person gifting the money, it's going to draw down from their estate tax exemption amount. So if they have if they've never gifted to anyone before and they gift you $11 million, it's going to draw down on that estate tax exemption. So when they die, they won't have any exemption left after they gifted you that $11 million during their life.
So is it better for someone to give their family the inheritance while they're alive versus when they pass? Or does it not make a difference?
It depends on the type of property. There's a lot of different factors. The biggest thing is if it has built-in gain, like let's say, Dad bought these stocks for $1, and they're now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't want to gift that away, because when you gift it, it's going to have that original cost basis. So if I gift you something with a $1 basis in it that's worth $1 million, and you sell it after I gift it to you, you're going to pay tax on the difference between that cost basis and the value.
But that's after you gift it. In other words,
Yes.
if I gift it, there's no tax.
Yes, it's just going to draw down.
If he sells it.
Yeah, it's when it's sold. But if you hold on to the property until you die, the basis in it gets stepped up. So if you have property that you bought for $1 and it's worth $11 million, and you hold on to it, on the day you die, the basis gets stepped up. So the next day it gets transferred to the beneficiary and they sell it for the $11 million, they're paying zero income tax on it.
What if they put it in trust? Take all the stock, put it in trust, and name, the circle of whatever.
Yeah, so it's going to have a carry. If it's an irrevocable trust, that's where it gets a little complicated. They gift it to the irrevocable trust. It has the carryover basis when it's put in that trust.
Okay.
And if it's not counted in their estate towards their estate tax amount, it's not going to get the step up in basis. So if you have property with a large amount of built-in gain, you're not going to want to put it into an irrevocable trust. I won't say that's a very hard rule. There are some exceptions. But by getting it out of your estate, think of it as just gifting it. It's going to have that carryover basis, and you're not going to be getting the benefit of the step up in basis.
So the best way is as a gift or no?
If you're just gifting,
right?
If you're gifting cash or you're gifting stuff that just has a little bit of built-in gain, then yeah, gifting is fine.
What if the gain is huge?
Then if the gain is huge, you're going to want to hold on to it until you die.
Like
And
a
then what?
property or an investment.
Right, but how do you give it away then? How do you give it
Well,
away?
It would just go under your estate plan. So it'd either go through your will or your revocable living
I
trust.
gotta tell you, this guy's like a seminar.
So if you've got like $10 million in the stock market
I wouldn't be sitting here if I had that.
and you leave it to your boys
I wouldn't do that either, but okay.
and grandchildren,
Nope.
You're going to spend it all before you die. That's
Yep.
the plan.
There you have it.
Yeah.
That's why this is the man.
Yeah, it's
I
always
gotta-
really amazing. I see people that, I do administration of estates, and they're just giving millions of dollars to their kids, and I'm like, wow, in my twilight years, I'm just going to be going through it all, doing whatever I want.
he's going to be buying diapers.
It's funny. My older one says, "How much are you leaving me and Gio?" I says, "What? I ain't leaving you nothing." "Well, you can't do that. I got to get you a policy." I said, "Get away from me." Kids are like unbelievable nowadays.
So the
Take.
We're going to go to commercial break. Can you stay?
Yeah.
So I want to introduce Lucky and then bring you back into the conversation of veterans. We kind of had that conversation last night. So more to come. Growing your business, getting your documents in place with Justin Mooney, hhk.com, and Lucky Aguirre. Coming up next. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious. Made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donut. Choose from over 18 flavored donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwern uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Stephen's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Stephen Zwirn, contact Stephen at 914-656-9060 or StevensWirn.com.
Justin Mooney is special counsel of the Florida office of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yesterday I was producing a show where they were talking about COPD. And I found out that these guys, these doctors, this company, can actually help with COVID and COPD.
They can help with the symptoms, correct.
So that we don't need to go ventilator. Now, I sat there in this, I was just amazed. So I questioned them. I says, are you sure the government doesn't know? Oh, they know. They know. But apparently, it's about the almighty dollar that the COPD stuff is not being launched. So I'm sitting here, and when he's talking about vets and, and 20% off taxes and 5% of $5,000 housing and all that, and I just go and I think about how much information is not shared that can help the community. The COPD thing, I have a meeting with the company because I cannot believe that we are not making noise when there weren't enough ventilators to deal with Delta.
Well, the ventilators weren't helping the patients is the other side, but this is a different situation.
According to what they said, I need to investigate further.
Yeah, this was a treatment that they talked about.
Wow, I was shocked. And they went to Washington to talk to Congress and everything else. I don't get it. I'm lost for words. Information like what he just shared right now, it should be out there all over the place. That's why, Lucky, I'm glad you're here because you're in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, it's the perfect combination. We've got Justin Mooney joining us. We're going to continue the conversation. We've got Lucky, who launched her first show last night on radio, Launch Your Business with Lucky, which was a great show. And Justin's filling us in as a disabled veteran, some of the benefits that veterans receive. And then we were talking last night about one of your guests. I believe she's a veteran, or she's still in the service, Lucky.
Yeah, so we spoke last night. Hi, how are you?
Look,
Thank you for
yeah.
having me here today.
Our Fuego 2.0 host.
I know. So last night we were talking with Emily, who was a young veteran, and I think that everything you have expressed so far after you came back from the commercial is about communication, connection, and there's a lot of things that we don't know unless we talk.
Yeah.
And it's so important, shows like this. So I started, last night was my first one, Launch Your Business with Lucky. And that's the idea, to bring business owners who want to know about what they do, who they are, and see how we can help them go to the next level. And if somebody's maybe trying to start a business, I mean, Justin, you meet a lot of people that they have ideas, they have the great concepts. You know, people come here all the time at the Brooklyn Café, and it's to help those individuals to do it.
Well, he just laid a new piece of information that if you start a new business, on your bottom line, your net, right?
Yeah.
You get 20% off taxes on your bottom line. And I gotta tell you, I used to think I was kind of savvy in the tax. I don't know nothing because I even never heard of this.
Yeah.
So that's another benefit to your veteran, Lucky, that you spoke to last night. That and also some homestead business. I'm sure there's some other vet stuff that you can help us with.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I've been learning myself, because one of the biggest things is, so we recently bought a house, and a lot of people, instead of putting the 20% down, as a veteran, you don't have to put the 20% down. There's just a VA funding fee. It's about 2.65% of whatever your loan is. So we had to pay that when we closed, but I had actually applied for disability prior to our closing, and I got my disability, and they backdated it, so I'm getting refunded about $13,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, that specific loan was an FHA loan?
No, this was a VA loan.
VA.
A VA loan?
Yeah.
Do you work with those, Lucky, as well?
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit before the commercial. The veteran loans are a great product. We love them. There's different rules, like everything else, just what Don and Freddie always talking here.
Yeah.
Information, if we don't share, people don't know.
Yeah.
Same thing. People think there might be a lot of rules and it's difficult, and sometimes sellers hesitate to accept a VA buyer, but it's not like that. You just have to have that conversation before. We have a conversation sometimes when we do a pre-approval, and it's so good to talk to that buyer agent, that listing agent, and let them know, hey, I have this veteran. I have all the documents, everything. I have it on file, just waiting, accept their offer, and we have everything in file, and the person is ready. It has benefits to the veterans, and I think they deserve that and more. So I think there is a great product. It's just, there's still a lot of things that people need to know about.
Right. If we don't have these conversations, people don't know. I never knew you were a veteran.
Yeah.
I never knew you were a veteran on disability. I never knew that you could potty train a baby at 6 months either. You are a vast world of knowledge.
Yeah.
No, but really, you have so much knowledge of tax law and now working with veterans and the legal side of it. And if with Lucky on her mortgage side, oh my gosh, what you guys could do for veterans together is tremendous. Putting businesses, are there different business opportunities for veterans, like different documents you would put in place, Justin?
Not necessarily. It's just like with the local tax thing,
That changes.
they just don't have to file anything. They don't have to get a local business tax receipt when they set up their own business.
Who wouldn't even know that? That's right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a well-kept secret, as they say.
I think part of the secret is that it's so important, and here I hear every time in the Brooklyn Café, you have to reach out to the expert. You have to reach out to that business. If it's a tax, Freddie just said that he doesn't know nothing about taxes no more, but it's just like in mortgage too. There's changes every year, and sometimes twice a year, at least in the mortgage business. For example, in 2020, because of 2020, let's just call it like that, there are many changes internally that affected the buyer, and we had to communicate that. So it's about staying updated and asking the experts on, and just in case, he has so much information, and because of his career, he stay updated. So we just have to ask him.
That's why it's important, right?
You know, it's interesting because Lucky is one of the few dual language shows that it's an experiment. She does Fuego in Spanish.
Fuego en español,
En
sí.
español, and then she does Launch Your Business with Lucky in English. And I wanted to have the contrast because what I want to do is I want to take the information that you can give her, and I want to reach out to my Latino community. Because I got to tell you, being Latino, I sort of know more or less of what people say they know and they don't know. And a lot of don't know can hurt you a lot more than knowing.
Right.
Buying right or buying under a vet. I mean, I know a lot of Latino vets, and I guarantee you nobody's talked to them at all about how to buy a home, and they don't.
Yeah.
We sort of withdraw from doing things that we can do. I mean, 2.6, it used to be 3.5% on an FHA, but 2.65 is even less than anything else, and it's a good thing to know. So we sort of handpicked Lucky because she's going to do a dual role and talk to both sides of the equation. And sometimes it drives her crazy because she's thinking in Spanish.
You think in Spanish,
talking
right?
English.
So I have been in the United States for 25 years now. So I'm at the point that I think English. However, it also happens when you feel comfortable in a language. You don't care how you sound, you just say it. And you start dreaming in English.
Yeah.
So it started happening to me. I started dreaming in English many years ago, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm in the English side. But yes, you're right. A lot of times there are words that I learn in Spanish. So for me, I feel more comfortable talking about that in Spanish, and the same thing in English.
Yeah.
The mortgage business, I learn it here. So I learn everything in English. And sometimes when I'm talking to buyers or the community or realtors about mortgage, I'm like, and I have to say it in Spanish. I'm like, espérate, how do you say that in English? Or, how do you say that in Spanish? So it happens both ways.
But we wanted to talk about launching your business and business goals. And we talked to Justin earlier about putting your plans in place, getting those documents, whether it's a buy-sell agreement, whether it's estate planning, whatever it is, so everything's in place. Launching new business, he told us with the tax laws, a 20%, I want to use the right verbiage.
Essentially a haircut is like what a lot of tax professionals say.
All right.
There are some income limitations. So if you're making, I can't remember, but essentially if you're making under $300,000, you're still going to get that 20%.
Which is huge. And you're talking about launching new business, Lucky. Again, it's a great combination together. But once people put their plans and papers in place, people were encouraged to start their own business, or they said, I'm not going to deal with corporate America anymore. I'm not going to work for anybody else anymore. I want to be my own boss.
Yeah.
They've started new businesses, and they're all like gung-ho when they knew their why for a year. And then you look at the numbers, and maybe your income wasn't quite what you thought, except for the food truck people. That was a whole nother win-win.
That she went in without knowing, and she came out the other side.
Oh, look at that perfect example.
And she's working on her second food truck.
Wow.
And she made all this money during the
COVID,
virus,
right.
during COVID, and she has the truck parked in her driveway. So she learned that by painting the truck, she became a symbol in the community.
Wow.
People go there to eat. They eat either in front of her place or they take it home, and she's doing really, really well. It's an amazing accomplishment under the worst situation you can think of. But what I like about this is that the two of you can bring forward so much information. I got to tell you, they will tell you here, they make fun of me. Yeah. I've owned a lot of businesses. I've been involved in a lot of businesses. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money. Either or. But the bottom line that I learned is if you're going to do a business, you got to do it right. And you got to sort of plan what is good for you because you're going to run it. You're the one that's responsible for it. Everybody else can give you their opinion, but it isn't going to make a difference because you're the one that has to do it. So you want to get these things in place. You want to get everything set up, because if not, and you get hurt, you're going to hurt hard.
You want to ask the experts. So in the part of business, you have the idea, you need to have the mindset, you have a dream, like the lady with the food truck. You don't ask some of the friends, and I'm sorry, friends listening, but you don't ask the friends. You reach out to maybe someone who has been in the food industry, in her case, and you have an idea, and you go ahead and do it. and you believe in it. But every day we have to put time on our business. So Launch Your Business with Lucky is about how we mix everything, you know, the experts, what is your idea, what is your business, and then going through all the factors and steps necessary so your business can be a success. So we have to opinion. You don't ask for people for opinion, you ask an expert. So if I'm a business, you know, if there are licenses that I have to do, and then there are taxes and so on, you know, and then also study. We are in an era right now, 2022, that you can search anything and everything just shows up. You know, even in our little phones that we always have in our hand.
Everything is there. And those are the things you don't want to think about. Taxes. Remember I went in to do my corporate city taxes, and I had a home-based business for years. I never knew I was supposed to register with the city. Never had any idea. Till we moved our studio here, and they looked at my company and said, well, you've been in Boca for X amount of years. You are now going to pay us for X amount of years. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I almost fainted.
Yeah.
And I said, but it's a home-based business. She said, it doesn't matter.
If you're operating in that city.
You're operating in the city. You have your licensing. You have to pay us taxes. She says, I'm being nice to you.
And she said that.
Right?
I'm being nice to you.
I'm being nice to you.
And she was nice.
She was very nice.
Because the number was like this. I'm going to be nice to you. Wow. I went.
And I looked at you, and it went.
I almost had a heart attack.
There was nothing we could do but then again, I had no idea. Having a home-based business, I was supposed to pay taxes within the city that I was registered in. Again, it was talk to a friend. The friend said, do this. I did. No one said, go to the city.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's a lot of information. Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about setting goals.
Okay.
Launching your business. No, you don't want to do that?
We're going to do that again.
We haven't done it
Because
yet.
Lucky's here. I know, she was asking about
We
that
keep
yesterday.
tiptoeing around the tulips, and we've yet
That's
to do
because I don't set goals.
You don't have to set any.
You know,
but most
now
other
I'm going to
businesses
seem like
want
the
to.
odd man out of this conversation.
You always are.
Wow.
All right, let's take a commercial
Slick,
break.
wow.
888-994-4995. And we'll be right back.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions. Expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay, her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Café Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444.
Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwirn uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Steven's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Steven Zwirn, contact Steven at 914-656-9060 or stevenzwirn.com.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. I am so glad today we got an early start. Where are we headed anyway?
Who knows? Wherever this glorious day takes us, and we'll take Don Pablo along too. Rich and flavorful with low acidity and notes of caramel. No matter where you're going or where you end up, Don Pablo never disappoints.
Excuse me, is that Don Pablo coffee?
Sure is.
Do you have any more?
Sure do. Then hop in.
No matter where life takes you, Don Pablo Coffee is always there to pick you up.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
At least you're consistent. I love this conversation about business and getting everything put in place. It's not fun. But once you get everything in place, then you can live your passion. I just got a text from Kindness Matters from Laura. She said she is still smiling from yesterday's show. She cannot wait to keep growing the platform.
Well-liked lady.
Speaking of which, Slick, don't we have our kindness?
Yes.
Our random act of kindness of the day.
Do you know what I found out about Slick? Actually, me and Lucky found out.
What?
That Slick has an experiment going on for his show that is airing on Thursday night.
Here's our words of kindness. Buy someone a cup of coffee to show them you care, a latte. That is our random act of kindness today. Buy someone a cup of coffee and just share the love. Or
Very
come
nice.
here and we'll give you a cup of coffee.
And Slick's show is, what's the name of his show?
Slick
Speaks. Thursday night, 7:30. And he doesn't want me to let the cat out of the bag, but there's a whole thing going on.
Really?
Yes. And Lucky even agreed to be part of it. She's part of the experiment.
Really? Uh-oh.
So,
I can't say what it is.
Uh-oh.
But and let me see how he delivers, because you know it's all about the delivery.
It's all about the delivery. Well, let's talk about not delivery yet on your baby. It's interesting. Your third grandson was born when COVID first came out. I remember Freddie coming in and saying,
Yes.
Brecken, the latest grandson,
Yes.
Freddie saying when she goes into the hospital, he had to go, because once he left the hospital, he couldn't go back.
Correct. So
So
I
he-
had to bring food.
So he had to go and stay, or not go until it was time, because he couldn't leave to take care of Rowan. He had to stay there.
So I had to bring the food in for him to eat. And I didn't see that child for almost a year.
Yeah.
Because I was scared
and now
to
he's
death.
almost 2.
And now he's like 14. It's huge.
But he's still in a diaper.
Oh my God! And he says, "Show me." I tell him, "Show me your muscles." He goes like this. He's like a brute. He runs through walls. This kid.
So funny. All right, Lucky. Let's talk about starting a business. So you have this great business idea. Go to Lucky first, Justin first. Can we do this simultaneously? What's the process of it? Look, they both pick up their mic. What's the process of business? I love that.
One thing that I would recommend, which is, so I joined the Delray Chamber of Commerce, and I found out that there's the Small Business Development Council, which is a free federal service that provides free business consulting. So when me and my wife started our new donut business, I was like, we know how to make donuts, don't know anything else, and they kind of provided a roadmap on, you know, what do you need for local business license, if you're going to do a food truck, what mobile permits do you need, how to create a business plan, how to kind of project your sales, that kind of thing. And it's basically great mentors that are free.
Did you find it helpful?
I found it very helpful. Because it's funny, like my wife, her sister and her always talked about starting a donut business, and like last weekend we watched a movie for 2 hours and spent those 2 hours just putting together these individual donut boxes, and I was like, yeah, you and your sister never thought about this side of the business, did you?
There's a lot of parts, but that is a great idea. One of the parts of having a business is looking locally what resources are available. So I don't think it matters the order, as long as you follow all the steps.
You just got to start.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I said every time I fuego. Just start. And definitely just start your business. Make sure that all the different ramifications. So part of the Delray Beach, or even other Boca also, the different chambers or business groups, it is not only resources but also a network.
Yeah.
And getting to know what other businesses are around your home. So for example, I live in Boynton Beach. So I try to reach out to business close to me. I want to know my neighbors, and I want to know what businesses are around me. So going back to what Justin mentioned, the chambers, you know, there are each county, some cities like West Palm also has the business resources. But yeah, start. I know that people don't like to talk about goals, like Freddie, but but he has a lot of goals.
He does.
I think the setting goals can be very fun. I think it's all about the perception. So when I'm writing down my goals for my business, I've been working on that for the last 3 weeks. So every time I feel very inspired, I go look back at my list, and it's what I want. I'm not thinking how I'm gonna do it, if it's possible. I'm not thinking 2020, aka COVID. I'm not thinking any of that. I'm thinking what I want, you know, for my business, what I want to be done in my career. So it can be very fun. Other than also look for a mentor, look for help. So it can be I do mortgage, and I have a list of friends that are in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you'll find other professionals in your same career that provide access to themselves, and you can, you know, ask or buy them a lunch and have a conversation with that expert on your line of business, and have that conversation with them. And then see, a lot of times when I talk to other mortgage professionals, there are programs that they don't do and I do. There are programs that they do and I don't have them. So there you are, you adding another resource to your business as well. And if it's not a competitor or an expert, looking for a mentor. In 2020, like they said, I had to stay home, right? I decided to sit down and search and learn about things that I wanted to learn. In business, mindset is very important. You know, the self-development. There's a lot of times I said, when you look at the business, you want to grow your business, you have to make sure that you are aligned with what you're trying to do with your business. So I started and I registered and I did a couple of coaching programs, and it's important. It's important. We always continue to learn. You know, we have said it here, and in Fuego, with the Spanish community, I said it a lot. There's many changes in different things. We keep changing.
But the self-development piece is important, and the learning piece is important, and the getting your next client piece is important. If you think you can sit home or in your office and do nothing,
then that is what you're going to
no
get.
Advertising,
That's what you're going to get back.
no anything, and just say, there are people that, and God will provide, but you have to start. You have to do some sort of, don't you think?
You know, it's funny because I think I found my goal. This ain't so lucky. My goal is to listen to your goal and help you get to where we get to go. Do you know, I used to write contracts on napkins. Remember that?
You still have them in the other room.
I still have them. I used to write napkins. I used to do meetings, everything on a napkin, contracts, the whole nine. Because for me, there is no right way. There's only wrong ways. Right ways is you try things. Wrong ways is you don't. And if you think that life is going to come and knock on your door, you're going to be waiting a long time, because I've been waiting 59 years. I ain't never seen that. So a plan is a plan when you make it a plan.
I like joining the chambers. I love that there's small business mentorships that are available in different cities that you don't realize. And talk about getting out there and meeting people. And we met Justin through Wayne. Yeah. And like we also talked about advertising.
Yes.
Should businesses set aside advertising budgets?
The marketing budget every year. And also, last night we were talking about looking at the prior year, what worked, what didn't work, right? Maybe I set a goal and I didn't take action. Like Freddie said, you know, I can write everything down on a piece of paper, but if I don't take action, it's not going to happen. So then we'll look at what I did in marketing last year, what didn't work, maybe what I didn't do, maybe I didn't have the courage, or maybe I'm thinking about what others' opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, marketing, advertisement, promoting your business. And we spoke about doing a mix. So we put a commercial, we're in a radio show, we have some info, people are looking for information everywhere. So kind of doing that service, providing the information, so it could be advertisement,
what
marketing.
What budget would you put aside? I don't mean the numbers, because every business varies. Is there a percentage that people should look at as far as advertising, marketing?
It depends where they are on their business. So in my case, I was looking at last year, there were some numbers that I'm like, oh, I don't like those numbers, and I'm responsible for all of it, right? So it depends where you are. So if you already have a base, if you're gonna look at last year and what you use, and you already I have a number of what I spent last year. So then it depends. You don't want to use a percent, but look at your budget.
Because I find people say
I can't. Do you decide a percent or?
No, I think probably, a mentor in the same industry or someone from the Small Business Development Council would be able to guide you on what you should be allocating your resources to for each part of your business.
Well, let me give you the scariest question. Would you spend money on yourself for your business? Because the person that is the best known aspect of your idea, of your business, is you.
Yeah.
Do you know that I have given people for free an opportunity to come, do a show, do a commercial, come, and they say no. Because maybe I make it too easy? I don't know. I mean, think about this. You're going to tell me no to advertising yourself, but you want me to buy into your business.
Yeah.
How does that even make sense?
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time with you, so I'm not a good person to ask.
Why? Tell me the truth.
Why doesn't it make sense? I don't know why people don't. They'll spend thousands of dollars on coaching, right? They'll go to all these other coaching and these great motivational speakings, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Thousands. And when we tell you thousands, thousands.
But they won't advertise their business.
Or themselves.
It's about, of course, the self-image, and then also the philosophy that you have. That's why it's important to get attached to a business person that understands the importance of advertising, promoting, so if you're going to put your budget in marketing and all that.
I'm still lost. Hold it. I'm still lost. Still lost.
Okay.
Because you're going to take somebody, which means you're probably going to pay somebody, to use the monies that you could do yourself. Image, either makeup or do it with a spot over you if it's a physical thing. I've never met anybody who can't look good in the camera, because cameras pick up on your delivery. your trust, how you believe in what you do. That's what a camera does. I still don't get it. I gotta go find a wing person to make me the business person that I am? That doesn't make any sense.
Remember my business coach?
Oh my God. I told her, listen, with all due respect, I said to her, can you leave?
Well, here's the funny thing.
Wow.
Before I met Freddie, I was in another business. I was going through training as a health coach, and I had a business coach. And in the middle of my business coaching to launch my business, this one says, let me interview you on my show. And for a variety of reasons, it was no. Finally, I went. And he said, come back. And I went back for another interview. By the third one, he said, stay and be my co-host. Well, that took all that business coaching training and went out. And that was gone. So we had to realign my business coaching. And I said, all right, am I going to do what I started with you on? Or am I going to do this new thing that just happened?
So we have to pay attention, and you pay attention to opportunity that presented to yourself, something that you were looking pretty sure, something that you wanted to do. And there comes Freddie and
with no goals
and guide you and guide you to what you wanted to do. When I say like attaching yourself to somebody who knows what they're doing. So you guys here have promoted a lot of businesses. I don't understand, and I don't need to know who are the ones that are not taking the opportunity. But you have to be ready for that opportunity, or you have to be willing to see the opportunity. So if you're not, if you don't see it, if you don't see the vision, and I'm pretty sure Freddie sets a lot of goals. It's just that he just writes in a napkin and then he lost the napkin.
iHeart, iHeart Radio? Yeah. Everybody familiar with iHeart?
Yes.
Okay, Dawn and I had a show on iHeart Radio for 2 years. Not 1 year, 2 years. I had iHeart put a microphone in the studio. They said, why are we doing that? I said, just do it. So they put a microphone in there for me. It was for any business within the listening audience to come in free of charge and tell me what your business is about. True? No strings attached. One guy took advantage of it in 2 years. One. Now, how in the world are you going to run a business if you don't believe in what you're talking about what you're doing? You see, I push Lucky because I tell Lucky, you have no baggage, you have a dual concept, and you'll learn the other side of the business. Delivery, it takes years sometimes. It's just getting comfortable in your own skin. But don't tell me if you want to run a business, if you're really aggressive and eager to make it work, that you're not going to talk about it in public domains. Now, if J-Lo was here, I bet you this place would be packed, right? Because she's been around in the business. But if Kendra Erickson was here, who's just as talented, people don't come. So it's about longevity.
I want to find out about the donut business. Here you are launching a new business. You work a full-time job.
Yeah.
Your wife works a full-time job.
Yeah.
You're
That's
pregnant
amazing.
with a baby who's coming in a couple months.
Yeah.
And you decided I'm going to launch another business?
Yeah. So basically, there was this donut shop down in Miami that when me and my wife first moved to this coast, she's from Miami, so she kind of knew the area and the donut shop. They had these amazing artisan brioche donuts, and it's a little bit far to drive down to Wynwood to get them. Wow. And looked around here, and there's similar donuts, but none of them, they're all yeast donuts or cake donuts. None of them are these, brioche, fluffy, light, very rich donuts. And it's kind of like, let's, I guess, just do it ourselves. So, we are working full-time, both of us. So we're just going to be doing these 3-day weekend festivals. It's our first one's going to be the Boynton Beach Affair of the Arts at the Boynton Beach Mall.
Oh, nice, yeah.
It's January 14th, 15th, and 16th, so we'll be out there selling donuts.
That's next weekend.
Yes.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend, but the one
weekend.
after.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Is that a French delicacy?
Donuts?
Brioche? No, the one that you brioche.
Brioche? Yeah, I think it was a technique of dough made in France.
Yeah, because you don't find that too many places.
No.
It's a totally different taste.
Yeah, you make your regular yeast dough, and then you toss in
some more butter,
a lot of eggs, and a lot of butter.
So the whole delivery on yours is not only the donut, it's texture and
Yeah.
everything that goes with it. I can see like what are you looking at? An old French shop, a pastry shop, the guy with the mustache and stuff like that. But it's all about the delivery.
Right.
Is it Moonray?
Yeah, Moonray Donuts. So my wife's last name is Corey. Mine's Mooney, so we just combined them and Moonray Donuts. But yeah, there's a couple donut shops back in Sarasota where we both lived for a while, and there's these big donuts with all these fancy toppings on it, and you get through a couple bites and you just get really filled up. And the donut itself just seems like a delivery system for the topping.
Yes.
And we want ours to just be, you love every bit of it. Like the dough is amazing too. That's kind of our vision.
That's the second part. So you're the donut you eat with a spoon.
That is true, because you see me pick the toppings off the donuts.
He's the donut you eat with a spoon. I mean,
That
you got
is
a lot
true.
of niches here.
Yeah.
Have a little dessert, have the donut after you have the topping and things of that nature. But that's what sells the idea. I have a question. What do you do with donuts that go stale? Is there a secret formula that we can do something with?
So we haven't had that yet, because normally I just make small batches for friends. But if we have any left over after these 3-day festivals, probably just going to look at local shelters and just giving them, giving back to the community what we can in that limited way.
I think if you reheat them, they last 24 hours.
You can make French toast with them.
Now that's an idea.
Right, so you can make hollow French toast. You could just slice
Maybe.
it up, add some more butter and eggs to
Yeah.
it, and you got some French toast.
That's what my dad did with Krispy Kreme. He would
course.
buy them and they'd last a week because he just popped them in the microwave for 10 seconds.
And they're good as new.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. So did you learn anything from your mentor that you didn't know?
That I needed a business plan. I mean, I kind of had this vague idea, but there's this website called liveplan.com where you can it kind of gives you an outline of everything you need to do instead of just, looking up templates online of, just copying from that. It kind of gives you a roadmap of how to set up your business.
You and I should try that.
What? What?
Setting up a business plan. Look at your
You
face.
have one. I just read it.
It's on a napkin somewhere.
No, I've got my documents have documents in the
Not
computer.
hers. Her documents are babies, and they have plenty of other documents. I can't get caught up in all that. I'm a creative.
But
I
it's
see
not a
it,
business
I gotta
plan.
go. Listen, whatever you want to do, I'm
We
in.
create things as we go along. The bigger we got, then this started with an interview. This was by no intents and purposes for me a business. This
None.
was fun. I got to go to work. It wasn't even work. I got to go up to the radio station every day and have fun and laugh with him.
Yeah.
And then
she was an Uber driver. They got lost everywhere.
And it kind of grew. I'm like, well, this is a whole lot of fun. Let's keep going. And let's keep going. Then we needed more help. So then we had to bring in people. And then we needed more space. And the next thing you know, the intent was not a business. You had a business.
She said, we're going to sign this place. And I looked around and says, big place. Now I need more room.
Yes.
But this is a big place.
But that's kind of how it rolls out. But there are people that actually do what Justin did and what Lucky says. And now here we are 6 years later going, you know what? We need a business plan.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Dawn brought up her brother and his wife, who are in the marketing business deal. And they were walking this place and telling us, that room is where you make your money. And I'm listening to all of this. And I got to make money there. No, I got to make money there. I got to make some money over here, make some money over there. So as things evolve, the stage was built to accommodate somebody in the UK that we're going to actually be doing something in the coming year. So that was built. And then she went and she bought chairs. No, my son gave us those. She went and she bought furniture down the street. And she bought the chairs. And the next thing you know, there's furniture in here.
Yeah.
And then there's paintings, and there's artists, and there's a camera that leads to another camera. Then my son comes in, and he runs 16 miles of cables. You can't see them. They're all in the walls. It took him 3 days to do it. And all of a sudden, I went from a cam about this big and a laptop to this, another studio, and the third studio that we never took advantage of at Don Pablo's.
Which I'm sure we still can. But it's the importance of knowing, right? And say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Until people say you got to put all these business things in place.
Yeah, you got to start filing your receipts,
I guess
all that
this is
stuff.
a business,
Do you
right?
think a business plan scares you because you see the mountain of things you have to accommodate?
He's an attorney.
I
That's
think
not a
there's
fair
there's
question.
different types of people, like people that want to put the cart before the horse and do what you did. You just did the damn thing. You started doing it. I kind of wanted to take a more cautious approach. I wanted to figure out what all we need to do, which I think selling food products, there's a little bit more.
It's different than.
There's a lot more rules
Yes.
than having a TV show like you do, and I think that each industry is different. I think having a business plan isn't necessary for everything. But if you're someone who's type A and you like to know, what's my checklist for filing the articles of formation for this LLC to, making $1 million a year.
But it's good. You got to put it on. You got to put it on paper. What the
Type A.
checklist?
Type A.
Yeah.
I don't have checklists now because I need a checklist. I've got checklists now because I forget things.
Yeah.
So I have to write things down as I think of them.
That's a good habit.
Because
That's a good
otherwise, what happens is I get so anxious because I know there's more to do and I forgot what I had to do until I remember it again. Perfect example. We had a Secret Santa here. One of our kids' gifts, she was out, and I put it in a place I wouldn't lose it. And I lost it until I went to put all the Christmas decorations away. And I didn't lose it. I left it right in plain sight, except I never looked there. So, being my age, I forget things.
It's like getting a calendar book and then misplacing the book.
Oh, I have your book.
She has my. And then, you see, this is what I'm talking about. So why have a plan? I get frustrated because I can't remember.
I found the book. I threw it away.
You threw it away.
We went to another year. You need a new one.
I cross out the dates, and I just use the boxes. This is what I'm talking about. I don't look at the numbers. I look at the boxes. Now,
So much information we have to give out. Justin, how do people find you?
They can contact me at my office number. It's 561-276-10. Wait, sorry, I just blanked on it. It's 561-276-1008. Or they can email me at jmooney@hhk.com. And all the listeners, I do free consultation or free document review.
So important to get your documents in place.
Yeah.
We talk to Wayne about it all the time about setting up your pre-planning and your pre-need. This is just as important
Yes.
to do it also, to get your documents in place. Because you know what? Only you know what you want. No one else can guess what you want.
Yeah.
And this way it's all done. And then, every couple of years you want to go in and just reassess it?
Yeah. Yeah. Normally it's any births, deaths, or divorces in the family. That's when you want to look at changing your documents.
or if you hit lotto, it changes the spectrum of stuff.
Sure that.
Listen, I want to invite him, because we're going to be doing a concept. I'm hoping to start it Thursday, maybe Friday, of BCTV, where we're going to cut from commercial and we are going to offer products like a regular
Shopping
like a
center.
shopping network
Right.
type of deal. And I want to bring the donuts. What I'm going to do is
Yeah.
I'm going to make plaster casings, so we don't have to keep changing the donuts. Don't use the
Okay.
real ones, whatever you want to
Just
do.
put it in epoxy.
Something like that.
freeze
And then
it
what
in
we're going to do
time.
is I'm going to sell your donuts as the donuts you eat with a spoon. And I'm going to try the concept and see if we can move the concept. Because I have a feel that there's something below the line. And this is the way my mind works. I would have a lot of fun with this thing, right? Because everybody loves a good donut, but your donut, you don't eat with your hands. You eat with a spoon because you want the topping.
Oh, there's peanut butter and jelly on it. There was Nutella on them.
Yeah, we're doing classic glaze, peanut butter and jelly, s'more, and hazelnut chocolate, and then we're doing donut holes.
Wow.
They were delicious.
And what do you do with the holes?
Eat them.
Cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon
You
sugar.
make minis, right?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the more I think about this shopping network thing, the more excited I get.
Gonna do it.
I want to do it because I think it's craziness and it gives somebody a pop to buy. So
Sure.
let's see if it works.
Lucky, how do people reach you?
Everybody can reach reach me to 561-454-8444. Any questions? You want to come to Fuego or launch your business with Lucky? If you have any questions about mortgage or buying your next home, reach out to me. I want to congratulate Justin. And he's an example of that. He's an attorney. He has a business already. He is looking to start something else, and he went and look out and asked for help and look in the community and trying to do things differently. So it doesn't mean that, I'm doing things the same way. That's why it's so good to look back and see, okay, what I've been doing, what is working, what is not, and then go from there.
It is, because you need help and to reach into the community. I think we talk about this all the time about joining the chambers.
We do.
And looking at different businesses. I drove around here this morning. There's a ton of businesses.
Yes.
But do you go knock on their doors? I mean, we don't do that. You pick up your phone and call everyone, but if you just start maybe within the community of people who are like-minded, then it grows everybody's business.
If you want it to grow, you're going to come. If you want to do something special with it,
I think it's a great idea.
You're going to do it, yes, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Slick, thank you again for all that you do. Have a great day, everyone. Reach out to Lucky, reach out to Justin, and of course, you can always reach out to Wayne. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Let us know how you're spreading happiness. We're going to be working on that as well. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tonight.
Don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly